Shalom. Kol halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophet of the body, and shalom to the 144,001 third. May peace and blessings be upon you and your households, and the spirit of endurance, okay, wherever you elect are scattered, all right? And Yahweh Shemesha Ratazah, I'm hoping to be part of that number. And we all hope and pray that our families make it through as well, But that's all upon Yahweh Bashem Yashai, and Lord willing, we make it through. But to be blessed as an Israelite is a beautiful thing, man. And Tawada Yahweh Bashem Yashai for making me an Israelite. Tawada Yahweh Bashem Yashai, Tawada, Lord. But, as Elder Kazaki Allah of GMS, Mississippi has stated many times in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yashai, well, I've heard it a couple of times anyway. The Lord gives you these spiritual blessings, whether you see an angel or you see a chariot or you see spiritual numbers to keep you going, to give you that push, when you feel like, like a car battery, like back in the day. I'm a little bit older, so, car batteries, you could recharge them at home before you whack them in the car again. Sometimes your battery gets low or whatever, like a car battery, like where you're feeling kind of down, and you need to recharge, so to speak, right? The Lord Yahweh Hashem Mashai gives you that spiritual recharge through giving a spiritual number or a chariot sighting or an angel sighting or an orb or orbs in your room or orbs floating around your house, or a rainbow just specifically over your house, just over your house, nobody else's house. The rainbow is just over your house, and you look up and you see a big, how a rainbow is like a big sort of like half a circle, right? It's over your house, just over your house. And I'm trying to think of specific timelines, but as we approach the end, Esau, Edom, we don't know what the hell they're putting, so sometimes you forget certain things as well. But the Lord just blesses you where you can remember it. I made a video on this before, numerous videos on different things and different beautiful things of Yahweh Hashem Mashai. But one that came to mind last night again was a cloaked chariot. And it was on the night of the Passover. Okay, I can't remember which one, but it was not this Passover, but we see chariots on the Passover anyway. I'm just saying, but this one was significantly stays in my mind because it was a huge chariot. Obviously, chariots, we know it can be the size of a grain of salt or sugar and be the size of the earth and beyond. Okay, because we're talking about the technology spiritually of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And the Lord is limitless. Okay, there is no cap. All right, on Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Right, and this chariot could have been, from what I could tell, which was near my house, well, not above my house. All right, it was. It wasn't completely above my house, but the Lord Yahweh Shemashai made it visual, made me see it because it was at an angle, right? What do you call it? Like where, for example, I could look out my back window from my home, and over the garden, the chariot was cloaked between my home and my neighbor's house. But it was in a way where I could see it. Otherwise, if it's directly above my home, I probably wouldn't have noticed it. Okay, because during the Passover night, you keep your ass inside the house, right? That's what you're supposed to do after you've done your Passover service. And the night of the Passover, I was looking, as I always do, just to see what the Lord's 414, Brakti Hashem Mashai. I said the night of the Passover, I was looking and I looked at the clock, it was 414, Brakti Hashem Mashai. And I looked up and it was a cloaked chariot like this, all right? But it was nighttime. So it was completely dark, right? And the chariot, man, I can't even put a measurement to it. Let's just say diameter is this way, right? So diameter is, let's just say, let me just look out the window quickly one second, just sort of estimate. Okay, so it's around about there. It's right up in the sky, could have been several hundred feet up in the sky. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, it could have been, say, 1,000 feet, diameter wise. I'm just estimating, but it was a good medium sized chariot, right? Excuse me. And it was above my home on the Passover night. Okay. And what's the Passover night? So the hopeful elect are going to be covered. Psalms 91, verse 4, right? Covered with Yahweh Hashem Yeshai's wings, the chariots, the angels. Okay. The angels are there. And I just watched a beautiful video of GMS Lions in Rome, where the elder, I call him an elder because, it's out of respect. The prophet said, the two angels, showed themselves on each side of him, and his missus, his wife, saw it, and that's amazing. So these angels are around us, and we can feel them, we can see them cloaked, we can see them moving around us, just like in the movie Predator. You see them cloaked, they move around you. You can see images around you moving. You can see orbs on the ceiling moving, on the walls moving. Yahweh Shemashai is here, man. Our brothers are around us. And above in the sky, when I was talking about the chariot, right? The chariot was like a deep, dark black, from what I remember, or a navy blue. It's nighttime, right? And it was a neatly cut out circle. All right. If you remember during school, you have like a compass set where you put a pencil in the compass. What architects used to do circles or semicircles, for drawings and things like that. It looked like a really neat, precise, meticulous circle, man. It's like somebody got like how you make biscuits? You put it into the dough and you cut out like different shapes. Let's just say you're making biscuits for your children. It could be the shape of an elephant, or it could be the shape of a giraffe or a lion or a tiger or whatever. Cute little animals for you. You've got children that are 4 or 5 years old or whatever. What do you call them again? Those things that make a template to cut out the shape. I don't know what you call them, but nevertheless, this chariot was like a neatly cut out, and it was like a navy blue, right? And around it was like a smoky sky. But then I looked up at it and I thought, that looks abnormal. It's just too neat. And then the spirit just jumped to me. That's a chariot. And it was on the Passover night. Okay? It was there, and I kept looking at it and looking at it and looking at it. And certain cases, Yahweh Hashem Yeshai hasn't let me record these things. In certain cases, the Lord has. And the Lord just said, I believe Yahweh Hashem Yeshai said, make a video on it again, just to talk about it, and the fact, and to let Jake know, man, that, the Lord is around us. We see miracles every day, man. Brakti Yahweh Hashem Yeshai. And this one is just a beautiful, beautiful stamp of confidence, or a spiritual stamp of confidence, right? Where Yahweh Hashem Yeshai lets you know that he's with us, man. The Lord did say he's going to be with us till the ends of the earth, right? And the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yeshai said he's going to cover his elect with his wings, Psalms 91 verse 4. And lo and behold, on the Passover night, when the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yeshai, back in the ancient world, right, in Egypt, was taking out all the firstborn, right, in Egypt, okay? Okay, they weren't covered with the Lord's wings, okay? I mean, they were heathens anyway, the Egyptians, okay? All right, but the elect that did the Passover service that night were covered, the Israelites, right? So this is just another example, the Lord giving you that confidence, saying that I'm with you, So the chariots are everywhere, man, And any of you Jakes out there that have these beautiful spiritual experiences, make videos on it, man. Make videos on it. If the Lord is saying you make a video on it, make a video on it. It don't matter if you get one view, as our elders say, because some of us are not great speakers or great video makers or have knowledge like our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, man, that rule well, or our frontline prophets. We're not that. we're not. Lord willing, you're part of that body. The body has various offices, okay, and various skill sets to make a team. To make a one body, right? So everybody is different. Within the, as my Northern Kingdom brothers would say, within the familia, right? So just make a video on it, man. It could help a Jake out in another part of the world, maybe, I don't know, in Morocco or in Tanzania or in America or in the UK. It could bless them, it could give them that little push, to do the right things, and they could be part of that number. And unless the elect is already sealed, which I believe it is, because we can feel in the spirit things are cooking. All right. So I just wanted to touch on this, the chariot part. You know, it was like this, right? I could see like this, neatly cut out. See how neat this chariot is? Yeah, but it was dark. It was like a remember, it was a Passover night, and the sky was like a navy blue, right? And the chariot, or no, or the chariot was navy blue, and the sky was black, or the sky was a navy blue, and the chariot was just black. Because remember, this is nighttime, Passover night, and the Lord did this so I could see that Yahweh Bashim Yashai is there, man. Do you know how powerful this is? Do you know how humble and how you feel blessed, man? You look in the mirror every day, you feel, all the hell that you went through as a child, bullying, you know, um, whatever you went through, being not so popular, being the last one picked for the team, right? Being the butt of everybody's jokes, or whatever, the underdog. And then all those people that made fun of you in school, most of them are crackheads now. Most of them are on heroin. Some of them have passed on to the other side through overdosing on heroin. I'm talking about, things that I've experienced where people have fallen by the wayside. And you made it out of your high school, or your school days, stroke high school, and you were the only one, well, from my knowledge, there's only a couple of us that made it sort of like into the world where you could be somewhat of a productive member of society. I'm not saying that I'm some high up on the chain, some kind of CEO. I'm just saying just a regular guy, man, that just works and takes care of his and handles his business, you know. And then you look in the mirror, man, you think, man, I ain't shit, right? And you know, and then you just get like so humbled, man, that man, little old me, Yahweh Shemashai is chosen me to give his name and this blessing and all these chariot sightings and all these spiritual gifts, you know. And it really, like, man, it brings tears to your eyes, man. It really does. You get teary eyed, you get humbled, and you get thankful, man. And you want to drop down, man, and just pray to Yahweh Shemashai facing the east, man. Obviously in public you ain't gonna do that, but in your closet you will. It's beautiful, man. You gotta you gotta be an Israelite first and foremost for this to give you this exhilarating feeling, or this exhilaration. All right, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Indian, or those of that royal stock, paternally, or Israelite foreigners that are scattered abroad like myself. All right, now we're in ground zero Babylon, all right, which is America. Okay, but I myself in the UK, and America and the UK are brother and sister. Okay, so we're gonna see where most of this. 1 second. Okay, yeah, let's go here. This one somewhat highlights it. Okay, I'll get rid of that one. Okay, now as you can see here we have America, right? Look at this. Look how overwhelmed this is with chariot sightings. And this is a couple of years old, by the way. So chariot sightings have increased. Look at the UK. This is the UK here. This is the UK. All right, here you got Italy, the rest of Europe. Here you got the Africa, Algeria, and all that. You know. Okay. Here you got the rest of Europe. Okay, but look at the UK. Saturated, man. Overwhelmed with chariot sightings. Okay. So America and the UK, right, is where a good portion, actually majority of the chariot sightings are, because this is where the most of the wickedness takes place, because we're in Babylon, right? If you remember the old school Benjaminite movie from back in the 70s called Babylon, even Jake back then knew that this was Babylon, the UK, America. Okay, but America is ground zero Babylon. That's like the head office. Okay, the whole world is Babylon right now, but you know what I mean in terms of its America's influence on the world. Okay, but man, the Lord's going to destroy this place, man. All right. So should be humbling to you Jakes out there, man, that the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is doing this much for you, man. This is amazing, amazing. And the fact that you don't get scared, you feel comfortable, you know, Do you remember the days when you were a child sleeping at night? You would get like scared and might have a nightmare, say, and then you might knock on your parents' door, say, Mom, Dad, Mom, can I sleep in your room? I've had a nightmare. And I remember that doing that kind of shit. And then as you get a little bit older, you're still kind of scared. Like sometimes you might have like a crazy dream, and you could be like 15 years old, and you want to leave the night light on, or you want to sleep with your light on, or sleep with the TV on, or a radio on, or something. Then as you get into the truth and you pray and pray more, you get afraid. You don't get afraid anymore because you know the angels are around you and you can feel it. Psalms 34 verse 7. The angels encampeth around about them and delivereth them. Okay, actually, let me get that scripture. All right, let me get Psalms 34. Is it 34 verse 7? Is right. I'm just gonna read some scriptures now. We're at 16 minutes on a couple of scriptures, and Psalms 34 and 7. The angel of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, encampeth around about. The angel of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. Okay? Okay? That fear is spiritual power, man. You fearing the Lord, doing the right thing, trying to do the right thing, trying to keep your thoughts pure, even when the satanic darts come at you, you think, where the fuck did that thought come from? I wasn't thinking that nasty shit. Hell no. You got to rebuke that shit. The Lord has given you the tools, okay, his name, to conquer this nonsense, man. All right? And then the Lord gives you this spiritual confidence as well when the Lord shows up. Our brothers show up, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yashai. It's amazing, man. Really amazing. Okay, I did quote Psalm 91 verse 4. Let's just read it. Blessed is he that readeth. Psalms 91 verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Okay? This is our shield and buckler, man. This wisdom, this truth, gives us stability. Quoting, loosely paraphrasing a scripture, it's stability in these times. Okay, we know where we're from, we know where we're at, we know where we're going. We've got that spiritual roadmap. The rest of the world is like, oh, aliens, all that nonsense, and they want to keep this world going on. They're in that mindset of one life. What is it? Yeah, living their best life. Well, that term best life is only for the so-called white man, because this is it for them. They have to live their best life now, because they're not going to have no so-called best life once Yahweh shows up. All right? Psalms 91 verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Ezekiel 1:16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. In the wheel, and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Right? And sometimes during the day you can see these chariots. It's like a black outline, neatly cut out, and there's a wheel within a wheel. You can see it during the day. As a matter of fact, I'm looking right now at the sky. I can see it right now. Them zigzagging around. They're sometimes small, sometimes large. I can see them. Yeah, there you go. And this is 9 o'clock in the morning on a so-called sunny day on May the 7th. Right? And I'm not bigging myself up. I'm just being real with it. I'm being truthful. Okay? I'm nobody special, man. Okay? We ain't made it until we're on them chariots. And Lord willing, I'm part of that number. All right? Whether it's 1/3 or however the Lord does it, or the elect, hey, man, even being the 1/3 is a brakim. All right? Hey, man, we got so much to look forward to, bro. And I can't emphasize that enough. Oh, man, I get overwhelmed. Just righteousness, man. Righteousness, peace. letting your children out the front door and letting them play without worrying, you know? Man, all these kinds of things, small things I think about. What's water going to taste like? You know, most importantly, man, just to see our King, man. You know, see His Majesty Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, look up at Him, and He looks down at you with a smile. You know, man, can you imagine that? His Majesty Yahweh Shai looking down at you with a smile, man. You know, I mean, man, all that power, right? And He's looking at you with a smile, man. Whoa, that's amazing. That's amazing, man. Amazing. And if you, those of you that aren't amazed or at these kind of thoughts, hey, there's something wrong with you. You know, the only people that should be afraid are the heathen, and you know, the unelect Jakes, 2/3 and unelect. All right. Okay. As a matter of fact, let me see chariots. Yeah, they're everywhere, man. They're everywhere. Psalm 68 and 17. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai in the holy place. And that is true. They're everywhere, man. And those of you that know, I can't really say no more than that. If you know, you know. And the Lord Yahweh Shemashah will open up the minds of the elect spiritually and let you see these beautiful sights, man. Okay? Because the spiritual realm is crossing over onto this side, man. Right? And they, you know, 144 again, Brakti Yahweh Shemashah. The Lord is watching everybody. Everybody. Proverbs 15 and 3. The eyes of the Lord Yahweh Salakia. The eyes of the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Okay? Esau wants his damn CCTV cameras everywhere. Well, F you, Esau, Edom, you heathens too. And you 2/3 and unelect Jakes. Okay? Those that joined with his damn heathen. All right? You got cameras watching everybody? Well, the Lord is watching you. How about that? Yeah? How about that? And man, you Edomites are gonna pay heavy. You are gonna pay. You heathens too, man. You're gonna pay heavy. I can't wait, man. Boy, we gotta hold back from sometimes getting busy ourselves, man. We gotta hold it in, because really, what can you do? Whoop one or two people, grab a bat or something, then whoop another two more. You know, how far are you gonna get with that? You better wait for that spiritual power, man. So Jacob, be patient. All right, be patient, man. Okay, be patient. Our time is coming. Our time is coming. The Lord Yahweh Shemashai is showing himself more and more each day. Okay, our salvation is coming. Just hold on tight. Okay, I know you're probably thinking how you're going to react when hell breaks loose, and literally how it is in the movies. It's going to be outside our front door. But the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is going to provide a way, you know. And I believe, which prophet was it I was listening to the other day? Is it Elder Kazak? It more than likely Elder Kazak Yala, man. Man, the elder spirit is beautiful, man. Mississippi. You know, he's like like a really enthusiastic, and all due respect to him. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just saying he's like an enthusiastic child that's been given a toy, and he's just like really happy and giddy. Especially when Elder Kazak talks about the chariots, and talks about the Most High and Yahweh Shai and the chariots, and all the spiritual blessings. Man, it's a beautiful thing to listen to and behold, man. Someone so passionate and enthusiastic. But all the brothers are like that, man. Our apostles on down. Everybody's got a different spirit, right? Elder Kazak said, Elder Pastor Gabar, he said that Elder Pastor Gabar said that Jacob's trouble is going to be fun. When he said that, I couldn't stop laughing, man. I couldn't stop laughing. I said, it's going to be fun. You know why? Because the elect are going to be covered. Okay? Jacob's trouble is for you 2/3, you unelect Jakes, and you heathens. Okay? That's Jeremiah 30, verse 7, when all hell breaks loose. And Esau's doing plenty to put fuel to the fire, okay? With his AI racist videos, usual suspect situations, literal paid actors, flash robberies, what you call them, and they all, somehow message all the brown kids, All the kids with curly, afro-y hair, all the kids with brown skin, so the target it becomes, the so-called black and brown people, and and who are the Israelites? Mainly so-called black and brown people, you know. So Esau's doing his thing to amplify this situation, and it's going to happen because it's all prophecy. All right. So I'm going to leave it there now. Okay. The Lord is watching, and the Lord is going to show Himself more. And time speeds up even more. And I urge you, Jakes out there, please pray to Yahweh Shai. If you have the name and you are sincere, Romans 8:16, the Spirit will bear witness. Ask the Lord Yahweh Shai to shorten the days and speed up this captivity, which the Lord is doing. But there's nothing wrong with asking our Father and our King to do it even more. All right, because we want to go home. We want to get the f up out of here, man. Fuck this world, man. All praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yashai B'Hashem Rakah Kodash, and may the Lord's kingdom, and His righteousness come upon this earth and beyond. Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yashai B'Hashem Rakah Kodash, Mawatha Bad Babal, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom.